I want you to imagine for just a second. Imagine that we were really one body, or that we were cells within one body. I want you to imagine us all being connected together in some way, shape, or form. You being connected to the cell to the right, to the cell to the left, and that we were all working as an organism. Just imagine that for just a moment. Not that we were individual people, not that it was them and that it was us and that it was those over there and those over here. I want you to imagine that with all of our different colors, with all of our differences, with all of our different religions, with all of our different experiences, with all of our different backgrounds and cultures, imagine if we were actually all a part of one body, and that collectively that we were the cells that were supposed to keep this body healthy, and that there were other cells that were working to keep the hatred, the ego, the malice, the evilness, to keep it alive. And I want you to imagine that those things, for just a moment, that those things were a cancer, that those things were like a cancer that eats away at the body and causes it to be worse and worse and worse. I want you to think about times where you have gotten sick before, or you've had the common cold before. I want you to think about how you felt when you continue to eat the wrong foods, when you continue to eat the wrong things, and you did not take the proper medicine. Imagine how that cold lingered and it turned into a cough that continued to just be sick. And imagine that when you're sick, you're never able to accomplish the things that you really want to because you're out of energy and you are tired. That's what the enemy does. The enemy uses the constant cycles of negativity around you in order to kill away, to stop the progression and the movement forward. And I want you to just imagine for just a moment that one cell, one cell decides that I'm going to be healed, that I'm going to be whole, and that I'm going to heal those that are around me. I believe that that's what our mission is. I believe that that's what our goal is. There is a scripture, 1 Corinthians chapter number 12, verse number 20, and it says, as it is that there are many parts, but there is one body. And those negative forces, they are like toxins that carry harm into this body, creating disease, and a lack of harmony. And we are the ones that are left, that every space that we go into, that there is a mission for us. And the enemy wants us to get so focused on our individual desires, our individual wants, our lacks, and compare it to what other people have and what they don't have. And the enemy wants us to focus on wanting more and not being satisfied, because if we're not satisfied, then we will constantly be in a state of anger, constantly in a state of frustration, constantly in a state of ego, constantly in a straight state of wanting. That gratitude actually heals us, being grateful for right where we are, right what we have, right in this moment, and shining our light for all to see. We have a mission to heal through our love. First John chapter 13, verse number 35. That's John chapter 13, verse number 35. It says, by this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. We should be driven by our love, not by our hate, not by our desire of money, not by our desire of things, not by our desire of relationships, not by our desire to have more, but to be driven through everything by love. Love operates from a space of truth. Love operates from a space of wholeness. Love operates from a space of wellness, of wanting everything and everyone around you to be loved. Social media has influenced us to go after the things, to go after the people, to go after the status, to go after the money. Everybody is so money driven. Everybody is so ego driven that love is far and few in between. Now, our goal and our mission is to operate from a space of love. And when we operate from love, everything that we desire, it naturally flows towards us. When we don't operate from the space of love, we cause calamity not just to our own lives, but to the lives of those that are around us. And the problem is that many of us, we get fooled by the instantaneous gratification of what money does, of what having the desired field does, that many people will be willing to lie, cheat, steal, harm others, treat others unfairly, just so that they can get it. But anything that we obtain that is not obtained through love, it eventually cracks and it falls away. Anything that you obtain and anything that you get, whether it's relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's a house, whether it's anything that you build on a foundation that is not solid on love, eventually that will collapse. We have a responsibility to reject fear. We have a responsibility to reject hate. That when we hear it, when we see it, when we see things that are not operating by the spirit of love, we have an obligation to reject it. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse number 7 says, "For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of self-control." It is our responsibility to cast aside every negative influence and to stand firm in our collective strength. It's our responsibility right now upon this earth to cast away the ego, the fear, the things that perpetuate that type of atmosphere. It's our mission not to give ear to it, not to give wind to it, not to give light to it. There's so many people that would rather hear a gossip, that would rather hear something negative about someone else to fuel the negativity in the air. It's our responsibility to let our light shine on our jobs, in our families, in our communities, in our relationships. That by letting our light shine, others will begin to do the same. They will see the result of the love that you share, the light that you share, that it illuminates everything and every space that you enter into. While you may be challenged with all that you have experienced, to not operate from a space of love. While the relationship that you have gone through, the rejection that you have experienced, has placed you in a position where you just want to get back, or you just want to get away, or you feel that there is absolutely no need for you to continue to walk in that love. That is a challenge of your life. For you to still remain the person that you are. The person that believes that good things happen to good people. The person that believes that love covers a multitude. That no matter how many times you've been rejected, that no matter how many times someone has dismissed you or hurt you, no matter how many times you feel that it might be just as easy for you to act like everyone else, that the mission is still love. That you are never to change the core of who you were created to be. That is to remain the same regardless of what you see and what you experience. You know, recently at my job, I'm going to just share a story. There have been a lot of changes and restructuring. And I thought to myself for just a few moments, wow, all that I put in, the amount that I fought and I lived for other people, our jobs could just at any given moment, because of restructuring, lay off and dismiss people that have put in everything. I went back and I looked at all of my ratings, and everything was successful. Everything was exceptional. And I said to myself, with all of the years and the time that I put in, at any given moment, they could just dismiss me. And for just a split moment, I thought to myself, what about if I just stopped trying? And then I was reminded that this was just a test of the enemy, that I am never to stop being the person that God has called me to be, that doors will always open for me, that doors will always fling wide open no matter what the rejection is, that I must stand firm on the foundation of who I've been created to be, and that is to love. To love in spite of, to operate from a space of love, to heal those that are around me, regardless of what I see and what I experience. Does that mean that everything is just going to flow as according to the way that I want it to? Absolutely not. But what it does mean is that I will always be provided for. I will always be able to rest at night. That God will always take care of every need that I have, because I operate from the space that He has created me to operate from, and not from the space of my own ego. No matter what's been done to you, no matter what you have experienced. And I know life may have been very challenging. You may have gone through the most daunting situations. You may have gone through hurt that can't even be explained and some things that you can't even talk about yet. But regardless of what you have experienced, don't change who you were created to be. We still need people that love, even in the middle of darkness. We still need people that shine their light, even in the middle of darkness. And if you can continue to shine your light, if you can continue to show love, God will always provide and take care of you. I want to thank you so much for being a part of my family. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to tell the story of the things that I endured and hopes that someone else will find just a smidgen of hope that they can still believe and they can still be who God has called them to be. And that things do turn around, that tables do turn, that God does open doors, that God does see you, that God does hear you, that God does favor you, and that you do matter. I want to thank you for watching today. And if you see fit that you want to sow or that you want to give or that you want to be a blessing, there is a link that is connected here, and you are most certainly welcome to sow. God bless you. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for jumping in for just a few moments. I'll see you next week. God bless you today.